Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Spider-Man Far From Home. This movie is directed by John Watts, who previously directed Spider-Man Homecoming. This movie stars Tom Holland, Jake Gyllenhaal, Zendaya, and Samuel L. Jackson. This movie takes place after the events of the snap, or the blip. Everyone is now back, and Peter is now in his senior year in high school. And his class decides to go on a trip to Europe. And so all he wants to do is relax from all the stresses of being a hero, Spider-Man, and just wants to spend some time with MJ. However, Nick Fury has other plans. Now, for the sake of spoilers, I can't get in too much into this review, so I'm going to be very brief specific. Now, as far as the acting goes, the acting is really good from everyone involved. Tom Holland is possibly the best Peter Parker we've had yet. I wouldn't say the best Spider-Man, because Tobey Maguire is still up there for me, but as far as Peter Parker goes, he fits the age, he fits the awkwardness, he fits the personality perfectly. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. This guy, Jake Gyllenhaal, can do no wrong, and he's really good in this role. First, I just saw him as Jake Gyllenhaal, but then very shortly after that, I was like, yep, nope, he's this character. He's now embodied this role, and I'm really glad actor of his caliber is finally being used in the MCU. Zendaya as MJ, she's really good in this as well. She's not one note like she was in the previous film. She actually has personality, and we get to see more of her, so that was really nice. Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. He's fine in this movie. You know, the role of Nick Fury, depending on which movie you watch, whether it's Captain Marvel or any of the more modern Avengers films, he's Nick Fury. You know, he is the way he is. But they did something really interesting with his character in this film, and it was well done. Now, the acting in this movie is really good, but the special effects are great. There's a scene involving Spider-Man, and he's fighting these drones on this bridge, and it's inside like this corridor, and it just looks really cool. It reminded me a lot of Vader cutting down those rebel soldiers in Star Wars Rogue One. And if you know anything about Mysterio, they used his character very well in this. Something else they also did was they tied this movie into previous Marvel films. Not only did they obviously hit home the fact that Tony Stark, Iron Man, is no longer around, but they incorporated things from previous Iron Man films that work in this one. But they also did a really neat thing where they had parallels between Iron Man 3 and Peter Parker's storyline of, you know, having PTSD, being stressed out, having to deal with pressures of life and being a superhero. But also they had a neat little comparison that was unintentional. It's something I noticed, is that they compared Tony shedding his armor at the end of Iron Man 3 to Peter shedding some personal things. And so that was a really nice touch, and it's not too much that they tried to compare Peter Parker to Tony Stark, but the way they did it was nice without saying this is going to be the next Iron Man. They did it really well. Also, the comedy is there. The action's really cool, and this film does have two end credit scenes. It has one after like the fancy credits, which is shocking. Probably the most important post-credit scene we've had yet. And then the second one is more like a deleted scene. Kind of important. It kind of leads into what we could see going forward. But this was a nice end to Marvel's Avengers Phase 3 chapter. So this movie is really good. I recommend it. I preferred it more than Spider-Man Homecoming. So because of that, I'm going to give Spider-Man Far From Home an A-. Till next time, guys. See ya.